Bible verses or scripture that talk about wealth. Oftentimes, it depends on how you were brought up when you were young. We fall into this trap of being locked into the belief system that was instilled in us when we were young. And it depends on the type of church that you went to or the type of family that you grew up under and the messaging that you used to consistently hear in your home. And some people consistently hear messages like money is the root of all evil. Some people consistently go to churches that sort of embrace poverty. And I'm not saying it's a good thing. And they'll even go out of their ways to somehow find certain Bible scriptures that sort of maybe embracing poverty is not the right word, but you guys would know what I'm talking about. But I'd like to say uNkulunkulu ufuna ukuthi uphumelele. It is even in the Bible, guys. Abraham, if you read in the scripture, Abraham was a wealthy man in livestock, in gold and silver. That's the reason why my niche and my space and my role to play, as much as I motivate and encourage people, but I want to encourage them along the lines of creating generational wealth, creating businesses, pushing Black ownership, and all of these narratives and rhetoric that I've been pushing all of these years out there. And the reason I wanted to do this video, I wanted to say it is even in the big book. It's in the good book that you have to be wealthy. Who must be wealthy if it's not for you? Wealth is not only just, something that's there for certain type of people, certain type of families, certain races, certain people who went to certain schools. No, you are meant to be wealthy. And don't be apologetic about pursuing wealth, because it's not for you. It's for inheritance. It's for your children. Even in the good book, it speaks about creating wealth so you can leave it for your great, 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 great grandchildren. It even speaks about the untrustworthy will not be able to inherit the worldly wealth because it'll only be left with the godly. So what are you doing with the wealth that you're accumulating? Is it for purpose? Is it for a bigger cause? That's why every time when I speak about accumulating money, creating passive income, creating wealth, being owners, building our own business, building our own brands, I always talk about the bigger picture. None of us is a winner if not all of us are. And maybe a quick one before I finish this video, I'll look at two scriptures and what they're saying about wealth, so as to encourage you that wealth is a good thing. It's even in the Bible, and some of the people that you're reading about in the Bible were actually wealthy. You are meant to be wealthy. If not you, then who? Okay, let's start with Luke 16 verse 11 that says, and if you are untrustworthy about worldly wealth, exactly what I was just saying, who will trust you with the true riches of heaven? Proverbs 13 verse 22 says, good people leave an inheritance to their great-grandchildren, but the sinner's wealth passes to the godly. Proverbs 21 verse 20 says, the wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. That's the reason I always encourage you to not spend, but invest. I've even started saying, yes, they've been pushing saving. Saving is a good thing. We save so that we can be able to invest at some point. But my messaging to people is that wherever you see the word save, replace it with invest. Wherever you see the word savings, replace it with investments. Wherever you see the word saving, replace it with investing. And that is my message. It's in the good book. It is in the Bible. From today, change your mindset and seek for wealth, because it's not for you. It's not for you to just live a luxurious life, but it's for your great-great-grandchildren. And you are meant to create that wealth when you are meant to break that cycle and live in generational wealth. And I'm not saying, and I understand that not everybody wants to be wealthy. Other people, wealth is according to their own. I've done even many videos where I say generational wealth is not just about money. It's about generational healing, generational connection, generational learning, generational health. Do you know what I mean? Like, generational wealth is a lot of things, especially for us Black people. There's so many things we need to unlearn so we can relearn certain things and learn a different way of living and moving forward, and also accumulating wealth by unlearning some of the things that have been stuck in our heads that have just kept us in this negative, vicious cycle of poverty. How do you change that? You are meant to change that. It's not your fault that you were born into poverty. But I believe it'll be your fault for you to die not having left anything for your children. And wealth doesn't mean like millions and millions and millions. There's many videos that I've done. One of the videos even speaks about just one property. You would have created generational wealth. Imagine leaving your kids with one paid off property. You would have created generational wealth. Because you're not going to leave those Gucci's that you're wearing every day. You're not going to leave all those expensive cars that you're driving every day. Because at some point, zobe seziya bomhlobo mti. Njengale imoto engizithanda mina imoto zakudala ngidrive abomhlobo mti and bahlale bangihleka abantu. But it's just my choice. I just love imoto zakudala abomhlobo mti. But my message to you is, guys, don't be afraid to talk about money. Don't be afraid to learn about money. Don't be afraid to pursue financial literacy. Don't be afraid to or ashamed to create generational wealth. Spend time acquiring as much knowledge as possible. Learn how to invest. And so you are able to create that generational wealth and leave it for your children's children's children. And while you're at it, guys, don't forget to speak to your estate planners and the lawyers and instruct them as to how you would like this wealth that you might leave behind. How would you like it to be distributed amongst your children, amongst your beneficiaries or the people that you're leaving behind? And they'll give you all the professional advices because they know more about money than we do. We're not professional advisors. But guys, you can use a life insurance to pass on generational wealth without having to lose a lot of money in taxes, because you get taxed a lot. Do you know that? They tax your estate. The government doesn't play, guys. You might have created generational wealth, but you did not leave the right instructions, or you did not get the right advice from the right professionals on how to pass on that generational wealth to your children, because the government is going to tax you. They're not going to leave you. So you have to do that properly. Research it while you're still alive so that you're able to leave the right instructions with your estate planner. And in your will, I also have been doing videos where I mentioned, guys, don't forget to also include your social media platforms in your will. Even if your social media only has 10,000 people, that's already a lot of people. So instead of your children starting from scratch, creating a new social media platform, social media platforms have become so necessary right now in this day and age, and especially as the years go by and as your children grow older, that it is the most important thing for you to look after right now and make sure that your passwords and all your social media platforms, you give all of that information with the estate planner. And as you're drawing up your wills, also instruct them as to where your social media platforms or who are they going to go to, because you would have built platforms to be about like 50,000 followers or 20,000 followers. That's actually quite a lot. So your children don't have to start from scratch. So you are able to leave generational wealth, guys. It's not just about just cash or money. It's just the resources that you leave behind. As I was saying as well, it doesn't have to be millions. Just one apartment or one house that is paid off. You at least have been able to create an opportunity where you are leaving your children one step ahead. Now I just imagine, like I'm in my 40s now, I had to start from scratch and my parents had to work really hard. But I can just imagine if when I was 18, I inherited one paid off property. Imagine where that on its own would have put you. Just one property from your parents. So that's what I'm saying with you as well. It does not have to be millions and millions and millions that you're chasing, but maybe you just want to acquire land, you just want to acquire a business or build a business, or you just want to build a home or a room that bring in passive income. So at least you are able to leave all of that for your children. So it's in the good book, it's in the big book, it's a godly thing, it is in scripture. You must be rich, because if not you, then who?